This is VSNN. I'm Kyle Damar.
And I'm Kyle Barrera. Here are today's top headlines.
A city at a standstill. 30,000 of Winnipeg's workforce walk off the job.
Governments changed their stance on prohibition and removed the decade-old alcohol ban.
More U.S. companies invest in Canadian mines.
5 women standing strong for women's rights.
Good evening. We start with our top story where 30,000 workers walk off their job in what could possibly be the largest strike in Canada's history. We head to Josh Ralla on site at City Hall for more.
That's right, Khaled. Most of the city is shut down right now as the majority of Winnipeg's working class men and women have walked right off the job. It all started after World War I. Soldiers were coming back from battle, however there were no jobs for them to fill. At the same time, the price for goods inflated by a whopping 75% and wages increased only 13%. Tensions have been mounting between Winnipeg's metal workers and their employers. The workers demand better pay, improved working conditions, an 8-hour workday, and the right to collective bargaining. The two sides have been negotiating for months, and today it all broke down. The Labour Council, representing all of Winnipeg's workers, voted yesterday on whether they should strike. The vote resulted in favor of a strike, 11,000 to 2,500.
We've decided to strike. We've had it with our employers and they won't take us seriously.
I don't like the strike one bit. It's just creating problems for everyone.
The strike went into effect today when 500 telephone operators walked off the job at 7 a.m. and within hours, all 30,000 of Winnipeg's workers were off the job, bringing the city to a grinding halt. The Citizens Committee of 1,000 was created, consisting of the city's richest residents, top lawyers, and employers, with the sole aim to stop the work disruption.
We're trying to get a resolution for the strike. Nobody wants a strike. It brings Canada's economy down, and it brings nothing to the table.
Josh, is there any chance of this resolving soon?
Now, we don't know how long this could take, but it could take months. There are a few workers gathering in Market Square, and things are getting a little rowdy, so let's just hope nothing arises there. I'll have more information as the story develops. Back to you, Khaled.
Okay, thanks. That was Josh Ralla reporting live from City Hall.
It's a decade-old alcohol ban which stirred up controversy. We'll go to Masab Hashmi for more.
Thanks, Kyle. I'm standing out here next to where the Women's Temperance Union is holding their daily discussions about the prohibition of alcohol here in Canada.
The main temperance organization are the Temperance Union of Canada, who believe that poverty, crime, disease, and domestic abuse would stop if alcohol was to be removed from mankind.
We have heard that the religious leaders are supporting this fight to ban alcohol.
Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, and Congregationalist leaders all strongly believe in the idea of prohibition as well, and are currently campaigning for it to continue throughout the rest of the century.
I'm very disappointed. Our husbands will get drunk, abuse alcohol, and disrespect us. The Bible condemns drunkenness.
I like my beer. My beer likes me. I'm happy.
It is obvious that there is a growing interest in the role of the school in the fight for a temperate society. As temperance ideologies begin to be taught in school, leaders from the women's temperance movement believe that progress is finally taking place.
Back to you, Kyle.
We go to Claudia for the weather.
Thank you, Kyle. Today, we're gonna experience some rain. But tomorrow, it's gonna be very, very dry. And after tomorrow, it might snow, so soon. Sorry, Claudia. We have to head to Samantha Chan at Market Square for breaking news.
Thanks, Khaled. Right now I'm at Market Square where thousands of angry workers have gathered here. The mayor has read the riot act and demonstrators have half an hour to disperse. RCMP officers have fired warning shots and police are being attacked. Police are charging into the crowd on horseback, firing weapons, and cars and streetcars have been set on fire.
We are trying to contain the riot. I have called backup in the form of the Northwest Mounted Police. We are trying to follow the protocol of the Riot Act. Please stay safe, Canada.
This marks a turning point in negotiation between unions and the Committee of 1,000. Both sides have been in a deadlock for months.
We've had it with the Committee of 1,000. They're not listening. Time to take action.
Have there been any arrests or injuries?
So far, there have been 40 people injured, 2 people killed, and numerous arrests!
Let's hope she's okay. Moving on.
There's been groundbreaking investments in the mining industry. We head to Michael Float for the business report.
Thanks, Kyle. I'm here at the Find and Mine Company, where thousands of minerals are transported here each and every day for companies to purchase. And joining me today, I have Mr. Panning to share his comments on the investment.
Well, this is a great deal for our company. It also strengthens our ties with Canada. Previously, we had to import our goods and metals from Europe and Asia. Those Chinese people. Language barriers make it difficult.
Was this a deal that your company needed?
Definitely. For one, the tariff from goods from Canada to US is much cheaper than the ones from Asia or Europe.
Interesting.
Hi, I'm Henry Ford, founder of Ford Motor Company.
Hello there.
Excuse me, we're doing an interview here.
Excuse me, sir. We're gonna talk business. Millions of dollars. Hi, Mr. Pan, is it?
Mr. Panning.
Oh, I heard from my associates that you have the best quality metal, the best type here.
I do.
So I was wondering, would you like to invest in the revolutionary Ford T model? You'll make great profit and you'll be in the all history books worldwide.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Do we have a deal?
Yeah.
Let's talk money. Here you go, boy. You have your mic.
This is Michael Float, BSN News, Vancouver.
British troops are currently stationed in Chinook, a small port dividing Europe and Asia along the Dardanelles Strait. Last fall, nationalist Turkish forces were able to force out the Greek military, who were pinning the British in Chinook port. September 15th, Britain sent out a message for all Dominions, including Canada, to send troops to help in the crisis. Prime Minister William Lyon King decided against the order, saying that only Parliament should be able to decide on the matter of deploying troops. This marks one step closer to establishing Canada as an independent country, able to decide national matters on their own.
Let's return to Josh Hala for an update on our top story.
Thanks, Khaled. An investigation after last week's riot actually concluded that it arose from the arresting of strike leaders in Ottawa. Some say this is just a dirty move by the government, who are in favor of the Committee of 1,000 and are trying to topple the strike from its leadership. More proof that the government is on the committee side is in that the Crown prosecutor for the deportation trials is A.J. Andrews from the Committee of 1,000. As for Bloody Saturday, it is not known how many injuries have occurred, as most have not sought medical attention to avoid possible deportation. The Canadian military has also begun to occupy the streets of Winnipeg to avoid another conflict, and it just shows that the government will use whatever means necessary to stop this strike. Back to you, Khaled.
Meet the Valiant Five. 5 Albertan women, Emily Murphy, Irene Parbley, Nellie McClung, Louie McKinney, and Henrietta Edwards. They approached the Supreme Court with a question around Section 24 of the British North American Act of 1867, which reads, "The Governor-General shall summon qualified persons to the Senate. Every person summoned shall become and be a member of the Senate and a senator."
We are concerned about the word person in the BNA. Does this include women? Does that mean we can be in the Senate? If not, does that mean we are less of a person than men?
They filed a petition in August 1927, but the Supreme Court summarized its unanimous decision that women are not such persons.
We're disappointed in the ruling, but we're not defeated.
They'll be heading to one higher authority to which they could appeal, the Privy Council of England. After much deliberation, the Privy Council reversed the decision of the Supreme Court on October 18th, concluding that the word persons in Section 24 does include women, and that women are eligible to be summoned to and become members of the Senate of Canada.
This is a major step forward in the fight for equality. We will continue to push further until women have gained the rights that they have longed for such a long time.
Masab Hashmi, BS News, Alberta.
There's been a dispute going on between the American and Canadian government regarding fishing rights in the North Pacific Ocean.
The Halibut Treaty was recently signed on March 2, 1923. It's an agreement between Canada and the U.S. regarding fishing rights in the Pacific. This marks the first treaty Canada has signed independently. Prior to this, Canada always needed Britain to ratify international agreements. Britain actually wished to sign this convention, as they always had. However, Prime Minister King assured this was a concern between Canada and the U.S. and threatened to send independent representation to Washington, D.C.
Let's return to Josh Hala for a final update on the general strike.
Thanks, Khaled. I'm actually hearing early reports that the strike committee has called off the work disruption and workers will return to work tomorrow morning.
The strike solved nothing. We didn't get what we wanted from it. I'm disappointed in the strike, the Committee of 1,000, and the Canadian government.
This just shows that workers shouldn't try to rebel. It makes them look like crybabies, and it won't achieve anything.
After all this, the government is still accused in a spending scandal. Federal money that was supposed to go towards returning soldiers has been allegedly been used to pay for the prosecutions. Strike leaders have been charged with planning to overthrow the government, and prosecutor A.J. Andrews has won the trials, handing down 2-year convictions. However, charges against G.S. Wordsworth have been dropped. He and Abraham Heaps have been elected to Parliament. But at this point, at least the strike is over, and we can all return to our daily lives. Thanks, Khaled. Back to you.
This was Bia Sanan.
Thank you for joining us.
Stay classy.